They can print his mugshot. They can talk about the trial. But those photos, those are mine. Those are my daughter's last moments. And they're not for the world to see. The father's voice trembled, his hand tightening around the podium. Cameras clicked in the back of the courtroom, hungry for every syllable. Outside, the snow kept falling. It started with 4 murders in a quiet college town, a crime that shook the entire state. The killer was caught, tried, and sentenced. But now, the fight isn't about guilt or innocence. It's about whether the most graphic evidence should ever be made public. Maple Hollow wasn't the kind of place where people locked their doors. The town's pride was its university, a sprawl of red brick buildings and ivy-covered lecture halls. On weekends, students packed the local diners, professors stopped to chat with old friends on Main Street. But on a freezing November night, that peace shattered. Police found 4 students dead in an off-campus house. Their lives ended in a frenzy of violence that made national headlines. For weeks, the suspect eluded capture, until a quiet arrest in a neighboring state changed everything. On January 12, prosecutors announced they had overwhelming evidence: DNA, cell phone tracking, and witness statements. The suspect, a 29-year-old former graduate student named Nathan Cole, faced 4 counts of first-degree murder. In the courtroom, Cole sat motionless, his dark eyes fixed on the table in front of him. Behind him, the family sat in a silent row, each clutching framed photos of the children they would never see again. Every detail of the night, from the time of death to the location of each wound, was recorded in the case files. The trial lasted 7 weeks. When the verdict came, it was unanimous: guilty on all counts. Cole was sentenced to life without parole. The courtroom emptied, the reporters moved on, but the families? They were left with boxes of evidence, sealed and hidden from the public eye. Until last week. That's when a local news outlet filed a motion to release the sealed files, including graphic photos from the crime scene and the autopsy reports. They argued it was in the public interest. The families called it something else: exploitation. At the hearing, the parents sat shoulder to shoulder. The air felt heavy, like everyone was holding the same breath. "We already live with the images in our minds," one mother said. "Why should strangers get to look at them for curiosity's sake?" On the other side, the journalists argued transparency, that the public had the right to see how justice was done. The judge listened, her expression unreadable. Somewhere outside, the courthouse clock struck noon. The decision came quietly. The judge ruled that certain files would be released, but the most graphic photographs would remain sealed in perpetuity. For some, it was a win. For others, it felt like a compromise that satisfied no one. That night, the father who had spoken at the podium lit a single candle in his daughter's old bedroom. "They can have their story," he said softly. "But they don't get her." But Maple Hollow's wounds weren't just in sealed folders. Weeks later, another motion landed on the judge's desk, this time for access to evidence from a second unsolved killing, one that might be connected.